cycle, they did like doll it up as like, you're just going on a peaceful boat tour. But then like after some renovations, they were like, no, this is a scary ride.
Right.
Don't even worry about it. And like the videos that they would like show the Jaws animatronic thing like biting into the boat. Like it was like attack, like it was in the boat.
Yeah. Nightmare fuel.
It was nightmare fuel. And I looked into it, and apparently from like the release of the ride from like 1990 to 93 when they refurbished it, it would actually try and like get into the boats. And like it would actually like bite the boat.
That's actually kind of dope.
Dude, it was really cool, but they had to stop doing it because it was actually damaging the boats because they used real shark teeth on the animatronic for that part.
Oh my god. Could you imagine if your like little kid hand is just sitting on the edge of the boat and that thing bites down and grabs your hand?
Well, get this. There was a lawsuit at one point because somebody accidentally fell into the fucking water.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Dude, I could not imagine. Like, there was this guy, he fell in and his kids were like screaming their heads off, I bet.
Right.
Being like, oh my god, dad's gonna get eaten. But he was more scared because, like, the way that the ride is set up, or was set up, I should say, rip in pieces, Jaws ride.
Yeah.
The track that your boat was on was only like 3 or 4 feet deep. So, like, if somebody fell in, it wasn't that bad. But apparently this guy fell in far enough where he got into, like, the animatronic portion, which was like 10 feet deep. and it like apparently like he was like really close to like the mechanisms. He would have got like pulled down and like probably fucking killed.
Probably chewed up and spit out. Holy shit. Could you imagine if his foot got stuck in the animatronics?
Dude, I would be freaking out. I think that's scarier than a fucking shark.
Yeah.
Not
Man, there's a lot of stories of people just like hurting themselves at shows. And like, take for example, do you remember the Universal horror like makeup show they had?
Oh wait, yes. Was it like the Haunted Maze one?
Sort of.
Or just like a show?
Yeah.
Because I know they had a show with Beetlejuice.
Uh-huh. Well, it was like a bunch of like on-stage monsters. And they had pulled like a woman from the audience to participate in the show, and she like, I guess like got scared by one of the monsters on stage and fell off the theater.
Oh my god.
And like broke her leg, and she had to get rushed to the hospital. And like, could you imagine though? You'd think that she would know that it's not real, but they make everything look so real. Like the Jaws stuff, when you're a kid, that's as real as it gets.
Mm-hmm. Because like at the end of the ride, I remember after the refurbishment, the story, quote unquote, of the ride, it's like more akin to like Jaws 2,
right,
where he like bites on the electrical cord and he like zaps himself to death. But they do a fake out where you think he's dead because he bites on it, and then the guy shoots him with the grenade launcher again, and then like he comes out of the water and he's all like busted up and like his skin's fried and he's got like lesions in his skin. I'm like, dude,
Jesus.
This is like kind of scarring. Like, what the fuck?
But at least you'd have a cool story. They'd be like, oh, what happened? You'd be like, Jaws almost got me.
Yeah.
I'd
Oh
take
my
that.
God.
I'd tell everybody that. Jaws almost got me. And they'd be like, what are you talking about? I'd be like, see, look. They'd read
Dude,
about
go
it
on the
and
ride.
everywhere.
Yeah, go on the ride. He's almost going to get you too. Scary stuff. But yeah, Universal was pretty good. I thought the rides are like, honestly, I feel like nothing can really compare between Universal and Disney, because a lot of people don't know, but Spielberg was actually a pretty big part of the entire like Universal park itself.
Mm-hmm.
in I believe Florida and Hollywood, but like he had like a huge role in like setting up the Jaws ride and setting up the E.T. ride. Dude, the E.T. ride, sweet as hell.
I don't even remember that one. What was that one?
It's kind of like the Peter Pan ride in Disney.
Yeah, I've been to Disney World and Disneyland.
Well, then you'll know, like, it's, like, above... It like, makes you feel like you're flying above everything, and
Okay.
you're, like, in the bicycle with him. But what was really cool about that ride was before you get on, there's, like, a cast member or a worker that's like, oh, what's your name? And you're like, oh, my name is Kenny or whatever. And they print out a little card, and they hand it to you, and then you bring that card to the people that like lock you into the ride,
Right.
and then they like swipe it on a computer, so as you're flying on the ride, and you fly into space, and you actually end up on ET's planet, which you don't see in the movie, but you see all these like alien creatures, and like ET at the end is like waving to you, and he'll read out all of your names. And he's like, thank
That's
you,
awesome.
Kenny. Yeah, it's really sweet.
Thank you, Kenny.
It's so cute. I love it.
What do you think ET's planet is like in real life? I mean, that makes no sense because it's not real life, but you know what I mean.
No, it's real.
It's
based on a true story.
I believe his name was like Edward Thornton, but everyone called him Eddie.
Or I heard his name was Ernest Tabernacle. But, I mean, varying sources. It's not really quantifiable, and we'll never talk to him again.
No.
Unless Spielberg wants to use his super secret spaceship to get us there again.
Well, they just recently made a Super Bowl commercial with E.T., and it had the little boy, but he was all grown up with a family.
What?
Yeah, you didn't see that?
With the alien? They brought Ernest Tabernacle back?
They brought Ernest back.
What the hell? Send him back home. What is wrong with you?
I don't know.
You tried so hard to get him home, and then you're like, actually, E.T., come back. We need you for another fucking Reese's Pieces commercial. Like, what?
Yeah,
Dude.
We're not done with you. Your contract's not up for another 3 commercials, bitch.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, no, but I want you to go home. He's like anybody. He's like any other human. He just wants to go home at the end of the day.
Right, and they think that he does go home because that's what they want you to see. But it's really just like all staged, and then they just take E.T. and put him in a cage, and he's on some military base like, oh, I want to go home.
Well,
I'm
he's
hungry.
in Area 51. Yeah, I'm hungry. That's why he wants to go home. He can't eat anything but Reese's Pieces when he's here.
Poor Ernest.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know what? He's probably in Area 51 with all of the games that are buried there too. They're still buried there, right?
Yeah, probably. You know what? It was another good ride at a Universal was, we talked about it like briefly, but the Back to the Future ride.
Yes.
That's probably like top 3 rides I've ever been on.
I think it's super cool because they didn't like Jaws. It played off of the first and second movie, but the Back to the Future ride, they just made a straight up new story for you to go on.
Right.
And like you were chasing the 55 Biff.
Yes.
And you were like going through time and shit.
And you went down a
that was
fucking
awesome.
T-Rex's mouth. You deep-throated him. You're like, whoa.
Yeah. Dude, that was like such a good ride. And listen, that's an amazing ride, but replacing it with Simpsons, I think, is like one of the greatest decisions that they've ever made.
I don't think I've tried the Simpsons version.
Oh, dude, it's so great. I mean, I love the Simpsons anyway, but they set up like the whole area around it to be like Springfield.
Okay.
So it's just like, there's like the Quickie Mart there that's like a gift shop, and you could get like donuts like that Homer gets donuts at, and it's just really, really cool. And they have like a bunch of like the Simpsons characters running around. Very cool stuff. Which is weird though now, because now the Simpsons are owned by Disney and they're still in the Universal Park.
Right. I know, I was going to say, they have like a restaurant that kind of looks like the Moe's Tavern.
Yes, they do. That's so cool.
I love that little design building they have.
Mm-hmm. Very cool stuff. And like the ride itself, I mean, it uses like all the same parts as the Back to the Future ride, and it's like the same like screen and like the same cars. They just like made it look like The Simpsons, and obviously the story is different and stuff in the ride too. But yeah, it's like just as funny as like the show, which I find really cool. I think you're like on, if I remember correctly, you're like on the couch from the intro, and you're just like zooming through like this whole scenario with like Sideshow Bob trying to like kill you and everything.
Oh,
very
that's
weird.
awesome. Oh, do you also remember the Terminator one? We also kind of briefly talked about this, but that was probably... Okay, when people say something is good in 3D, I always go back and compare it to the Terminator ride, because the 3D in that was probably the best. And I don't know if it was because I was little when I saw it, but it was like things were like legitimately in your face.
I don't remember that one as much because I think I've only ridden it once, and I don't think it's there anymore, unfortunately.
No, it's been gone for a while, but man, was that ride so good. And it was one of those experiences, kind of like, you know how they have the 4D experience theaters? So you would get like sprayed with water, you could smell like burning rubber, there was smoke.
Oh, that's cool. Like,
it was really awesome.
Is it like the have you ever been to the Islands of Adventure? Because they have a Spider-Man ride that's like that.
No, I haven't. I should check that out.
Dude, the Spider-Man ride, and there's a lot of rides like this in Universal, which is kind of why I'm like, like I don't need to, you know, go through all these simulator rides, but like I feel like the coolest one is Spider-Man, just because Spider-Man's badass.
Right.
But so they have a Spider-Man one that's like this. They have a Transformers one like this. They have a Fast and Furious one like this, and they have a King Kong one. They're literally all the same ride, which is like, it's more so Spider-Man and Transformers are the same, and the King Kong one and the Fast and Furious ones are the same. Just like kind of like on a moving vehicle that's on a track, and the moving vehicle will like move in every direction, not just the track that it's taking you on, and it'll like spray things, and you have 3D glasses. But the King Kong one and the Fast and Furious one, dude, those rides can suck my ass. They suck so bad. Like,
now, is the King Kong one the one that was animatronic?
So it used to be. Like,
because that's the one I remember.
Yeah, so you probably remember that because you're a little bit older, so you probably remember the one where you're on a cable car going through the like destroyed New York City.
Yes, and he's fucking terrifying because whatever reason they always made King Kong's eyes like he just got done on a coke bender, and he's just like staring at you like, oh. And every time you go around a building with your little cart, it would like swing and he'd just stare at you. Oh man, terrifying.
I wish I rode that, but I'm too young to even have that possibility.
Yeah, you're a babe.
Yeah, I wish I had the opportunity to ride that one, because the one that they have now is like, you're on this like open-sided bus system, or like a tram system, where like there's no doors surrounding you, and then you go through this tunnel like super slow. You go through this tunnel super slow, and it's like around you is like this tunnel that you would look on either side, and it's just giant screens, like with shit like happening, and like the train car, the bus car, whatever, like reacts to the film, and it like shakes the thing a little bit, and I'm like, this is fucking so stupid. Like, there's no like animatronic like cool stuff to immerse me. Like, I know I'm looking at a screen this entire time, and it was the same exact ride with the Fast and the Furious. You're just on this giant bus, and like fucking, I almost said Danny DeVito, Vin Diesel, he like comes in.
Yeah, Fast and the Furious starring Danny DeVito.
I wish, then I would love that ride.
It would be so much better.
Yeah, but then Vin Diesel's coming in, and he's like, you gotta make it to the party, come on. And
hey,
it's
yo,
like,
twist off a Corona for me.
Yeah, like, oh god, dude, it just sucked. And
I miss when they had more detailed